What's going on, Falcon fan? This is what we're gonna do. Come back at you with another video. Today we're gonna talk about the Inks, the season finale for the Atlanta Falcons this season. Hey guys, no matter what, don't matter about the playoff implications, anything like that. It's the New Orleans Inks. We want to go down there and we want to sweep the New Orleans Inks for the season. That's what we want to do. So this game means something. Yes, it has playoff implications, but do we really want to see this team in the playoffs? Yes. If they can make it, yes, we can make it. Of course, we're gonna need some help from the Carolina Panthers. Hey, they try to keep us out of the playoffs. Maybe they can keep, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of the playoff. However, the Falcons got to get their job done. They got to go down to New Orleans. They got to beat the Aints, right? The Aints looked good last week against Tampa Bay. Of course, if the Aints win, guess what? They need help from other guys to actually get in. So it's not as simple as for the Aints to win. For the Atlanta Falcons, it's really simple. Tampa Bay lose, Atlanta Falcons win, they win NFC South. It's just that simple. So those are some of the things we definitely going to look at today. Also, we're going to talk about the keys to victory, what I think it's going to take to get this win this weekend. And that's where we go. Had a lot of news around talking about the future of the coaching staff. Guess what? After this game, it's Black Monday, right? That's what they call it, right? A lot of coaches be let go and things like that. Will our head coach be on the block? I gave you guys my my feelings about it last on Monday. But a lot of more reports have came out about Coach Smith and looked like he might not be staying. And another report said that it looked like he's going to stay. So it's you really don't know. Maybe this game itself will determine that. So we'll just have to see what's going on, Johnny R. Happy New Year to you too. So guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to this channel. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys are here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come and hear me talk about. That's right, these Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, we'll get right into it. Going to talk about the keys to victory today for the Atlanta Falcons. And you guys know how I do. I go offense, I go defense, and I go special teams. Like I said, this is a important game because it does have clarification. Yes, believe it or not, the NFC South has still not been locked up. Most of these teams might not have a chance to get into the wild card. I think the Aints still do have a chance to get in the wild card. If they don't win the NFC South. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Aints still have an outside chance to get into the into the playoffs in the wild card, but they do need help from other teams to lose. So, but I don't care about their circumstances. I really just care about Atlanta Falcons. For the Atlanta Falcons, they need to win, and they need Tampa Bay to lose, right? And then they will lock up the NFC South, and guess what? They will host a home playoff game. Believe it or not, with all that being said, this season and all the turmoil that we have, the Atlanta Falcons still have something to play for this weekend. And we talk about the keys of victory for the Atlanta Falcons. Some of the things that we have been stressing and pushing all season long for this Atlanta Falcons team. And we're talking about the offensive side of the ball. And of course, the first key you want to say, and I'm just going to go out and say it, you have to protect the football, right? It's really no other way around it. The Atlanta Falcons do not protect the football. They have no opportunity to win. Atlanta Falcons negative, I think -10, -9 on the season on the turnover ratio, which is not good. You never want to be in a negative. Go back to some of the games that we lost. If you don't turn over the ball, we have a positive or just an even turnover ratio in some of those games. The Atlanta Falcons would be victorious, and we wouldn't even have this conversation this weekend. This game probably be, just getting ready to go to the playoffs because the NFC South will already be locked up. But that's not the case. So it's important. Whoever the quarterback is, Taylor Heinicke is limited today in practice. So for this ankle. So if it's Desmond Ridder or Taylor Heinicke, it really doesn't matter. One of those quarterbacks has to go out and actually make sure that they protect the football. Our running backs need to protect the football. Our return game need to protect the football. So one first key to victory, to this weekend is to protect the football. They have to do that. All right. The second key on offense is definitely to get out on a fast start. Something the Atlanta Falcons have struggled with all season long again. So asking something that they really haven't done that much of this season, but it's going to be crucial for the Atlanta Falcons to get out on the first a fast start, because you want to be able to quiet that crowd in the Superdome. You want to make sure that you get in there and you silence those guys, right? Kind of take away their home field advantage. So if the Atlanta Falcons are able to go in this Sunday and stop, get off on a fast start, put touchdown on the board, not field goals, get out on a fast start, and see, can they silence that crowd? It's going to be a big deal. Like I said, this is a good game. In essence, this is what you would say a playoff game for the Atlanta Falcons, even though they don't completely control their own destiny. It is a game that they have to win. And if they get off on a fast start, it definitely would be something that really would help the Atlanta Falcons. And then last but not least, we want to be able to control the clock, run the ball, all right? It's repetitive, guys. We pretty much been talking about this all season. Atlanta Falcons can run the ball, get into good, advantageous down the distance on second down, third down. You could pretty much open up the playbook the way you want it to work. Run the play action pass, get the ball into some of your playmakers' hand, and make things happen. Believe it or not, I think Atlanta Falcons really only had one game that you can say that was solid, and that was the game against the Indianapolis Colts. For the most part, you saw, the potential in what this offense could be. Some of the keys I just talked about: getting out fast, being able to run the ball, getting the ball into your playmaker's hand, and making things happen. One thing about this game, we playing the New Orleans Saints and their defense, is that it's no surprises. They know us, we know them. So it should be mano y mano, go out there. They got to have it, we got to have it. And we'll see who get it done. So those are my keys on the offensive side of the ball this week. Of course, like I said, protect the football. You want to be able to get out on a fast start. And then if we can run the ball and create good down the distance in our game to create good, passing downs for our Atlanta Falcons to get the ball into our playmakers' hand. So guys, that's what I have for the offense. Hopefully, it won't be my last keys to victory for this year. Somehow they squeak in. We'll be talk about this again, the wild card weekend. But Atlanta Falcons have a slim chance, even though the Panthers going to go out. I don't think they're going to lay down and get a Tampa Bay the game, but more than likely they probably win that game. So Tampa Bay probably will be representing the NFC South in the playoffs this year. So we'll just have to wait to see what happens with that. All right, let's get to the defensive side of the ball for these Atlanta Falcons. Well, I like to just go on reversing some things. The biggest thing is if we can actually stop the running game for the New Orleans Saints, right? We don't want Alvin Kamara to get off. What's going on, Millie Mills? Happy New Year's to you too. We want to make sure if we could get the Saints into one-dimensional, just going out trying to pass the ball down, so we be able to stop the run. Don't get Alvin Kamara get going. Don't want to let that running game get going for the New Orleans Saints. If we can make that happen, I think the Atlanta Falcons definitely will have a chance to be successful in this game. Defense been playing solid all year. Got a couple of guys coming back for their homecoming, and Caden Ellis and David Amiyata and Ryan Nielsen. So those guys come in, they want to speak, seeking a spoil the Atlanta Falcons, the Saints chances to get in the playoffs. Yes, you're right. I think he is hurt. I haven't seen the word. I haven't looked at the injury report, so he might not be able to go anyway. That's the case. That's better for us because that will eliminate, his threat out the backfield in the passing game. So, definitely got to go look at that injury report on Kamara, because yes, he did leave the game last week. So thanks for reminding me of that, Millie. On that. The second key on defense for the Atlanta Falcons is to be able to get to Derek Carr, right? When I mean get to Derek Carr, Atlanta Falcons is this close to getting that 40 sacks that we talked about at the beginning of the season. They're this close. I think right now they're either 38 or 37 sacks. They need 3 or 4 sacks to get over that 40 mark. If they can do that, that would be great. That's probably one of the biggest jumps from sack productions from one season to the next, which means that with all the things that did go wrong with this season for the Atlanta Falcons, you see that improvement on the defensive side of the ball. So we want to be able to get pressure after Derek Carr. If we have to simulate pressure by running blitzes, we can do that, but we want to be able to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. I think if you speed him up, that's when you'll see him make some mistakes. Derek Carr has been playing a whole lot better these last couple of games. That's why they're in the position they're in now. If you go look at how they played last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they played well. So those guys going to come ready to play. But we can get pressure out of Derek Carr. I think that would really, really help us getting this victory this weekend. All right, last thing on the defensive side of the ball is we want to be able to see, can we create turnovers? I talked about on the offense side of the ball, not having turnovers. We're definitely in the negative this season, but get our offense more opportunities. If we can get off, fast, like I talked about on the offensive keys, and then we'll be able to turn over the ball and get our offense more opportunities to even put more points on the board, that would be helpful. If you look at the last game we had, key turnovers, especially in the red zone for the Aints, to help the Falcons get that win against them the first time, right? So I think that is definitely something that we need to be looking for, trying to take an opportunity of. We're able to get turnovers on the Atlanta Falcons, on the New Orleans Aints, that would really be good for us. So that's my third key on the defensive side of the ball, is to be able to create turnovers. Going back, throw that list on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, we want to be able to stop the run. We can do that. Let's stop the run. Let's get after Derek Carr. See, can we get that 40 sack total? And then last but not least, see, can we create turnovers? Get to the ball, strip sacks, more interceptions, fumbles, call fumbles, things like that. Whatever you got to do, let's see, can we make that happen for this game? Must-win game. This game is must-win in so many ways. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. It's not just for the playoffs, but I think it's got a lot to do for a lot of other things that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. All right. Let's go to the third and final team on an offense. For the Atlanta Falcons, and that's special teams, right? Special teams is key. We want to make sure that we create great field position for our offense. Terrible field position for their offense, right? So if we don't, we happen to go 3 and outs, try to get enough first down so you can be able to punt the ball and create, great field position for your defense to try to get the ball right back. It's always key. That's always one of my keys when I talk about special teams. I think it's one of the most overlooked aspects when you're talking about the kicking game, is the punt, being able to pin guys deep. Changing field position always help out, offense, and the defense side, because you think about it, the deeper you put them in their on their side of the field, it's shorten their playbook, the kind of plays the coach is willing to call, because you don't want to take any chances, to cause turnovers and things like that. So they get a little bit more conservative when you're back down in your own on end of the field. That's what you got to see. So I love to see that from a special team standpoint, is be able to make sure that we're able to create great field position, right? Second key, one thing we haven't seen all year long is a return. We have not seen return. We was one of the best teams in the return game last year. If you go look at it, of course, Avery Williams got hurt, right? I can't recall Cordell Patterson only taking about 1 or 2, kickoffs out of the end zone. Maybe they could change that trend. We know the way the game is played now. They really trying to, do away with the kickoffs because they try to kick the ball out the back of the end zone. But if we can have an opportunity to return some kickoffs this week, I mean, let it all loose, man. What you got to lose? I anticipate the Atlanta Falcons, not keeping anything in. Everything that you got in your playbook, you might as well throw it out there. Because, hey, guess what? This might be your last game coaching anyway. So you might as well just let it all out, right? So that's some of the things that they got to do. They got to be able to create some kind of momentum. So if we can get, a kick return going or even a punt return going, that would be great. We have not seen that this season at all. We saw, we saw D. Alford turn it back in the preseason, return a punt return back. But honestly, man, CP ain't even tried to bring one home, right? I don't know if that's by design. If they can attempt to let him bring it out because you get the ball at the 25-yard line or not. But I say let it all out. Let's go. What you got to lose? No holding back. This could be the last game of the season. So let's see something special in the return game this week or the Aints game. Like I said, no matter what, care about the stakes. I don't care if the Atlanta Falcons had won one game this season, and that was against the Aints. Guess what? The second game they need to win will be against the Aints. We need to sweep these guys, right? They sweeped us last year. We want to return the favor and give them the sweep, right? It's nothing like ruining, their season just like, our season is ruined. So, yes, they need help to get in regardless, even if they do beat us. But guess what? We don't even want to give them that hope, right? We just want to put them out their misery. And at the end of the day, if somehow miraculous, the Panthers come and play because they are playing in Carolina, right? They come and play. They got proud for guys over there, in Carolina, right? You saw what they did against us. You never know. It could happen. It could happen. Somebody might get injured or the football gods might favor Arthur Smith, right? Because if he wins this game and the Bucks lose, guess what? He's probably saved. So that's some of the things that you never know how the ball turns. And that's why I love pro football, because it's always about any given Sunday. Yes, people can write it off and saying it's an automatic win. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles this past weekend. Nobody thought they was going to lose to the Cardinals. They was up 21-6 and came back and lost that game and dropped all the way from the 2nd seed to the 5th seed. Now they got to go on the road probably for 2 games to try to get to the playoffs. 3 games if they make it to the NFC Championship. They got to play the wild card, which they'll be coming to the NFC South team probably, right? And then they have to either go to the 49ers or the Cowboys. So they got a tough road ahead of them by being that 5th seed. And all they had to do was beat the Arizona Cardinals. Guess what? Any given Sunday. So the Atlanta Falcons do have hope. They do have hope, guys. They need to come out and they need to play their best football. Games going simultaneously. They want to scoreboard watch. They can do that. Whatever. I know I'm going to be scoreboard watching just to see, what kind of chances the Falcons got. Hopefully it's not over in the first quarter, of that Bucks Panther game. They get a big lead and it looks like it's hopeless. But whatever the case is, the Atlanta Falcons, all these guys, going out playing for their careers. Some of these guys on 1-year deals. And this for all 4 teams in NFC South. That's what makes football pro football so awesome, because it's 2 division games on at the same time. And believe it or not, how bad NFC South has been this entire season. One of these teams is going to make it to the playoffs and host a playoff game. So that's really special. So whatever way you look at it, all you want to do is get in a tournament. And yes, the Atlanta Falcons definitely have an opportunity to get in the tournament this season. So guys, let's recap my keys to victory for today. Offensive side of the ball, we want to make sure that we do not have turnovers. It's so crucial not to turn the ball over, right? We want to be able to run the ball. We got to be able to run the ball. If we can do that, we create that create advantageous second and third downs for our offense, who's been struggling all season long, and we have to get off on a fast start. If we're able to get out on a fast start on the offensive side of the ball, I think that's going to be really key for us. On the defensive side of the ball, we want to be able to make sure that we put pressure on Derek Carr. I think if you put pressure on him, get him off his spot, you have, let him make mistakes that he's prone to do in those situations. He has been playing really well these last couple of games, so it's going to be a tough task to be able to counter corral some of the things he's been doing in the passing games. Look like Alvin Kamara will be out. However, we still need to be able to stop the run, right? We be able to stop the run. I think that's definitely going to help us a lot on the defensive side of the ball. And third, but not least, we want to try to get to the 40 sacks, right? We get 3 or 4 sacks this game, that would be real key to helping us win, right? So those are my keys to victory. Put pressure, get the sack, stop the run. And especially on special teams, we want some special stuff to happen this weekend. We want to see if we can get that return game going. We definitely want to see if we can get that return game going. If we can do that, I think the Atlanta Falcons, could light a spark. And what we want to do, be able to silence the crowd. Like I said, we get off on that fast start, create something special on special teams. It can be silent up in that Superdome, right? And we want to make sure that we control the field position the entire game. We make those guys go 80, 90 yards every drive. And we have to go, 40, 60 yards on our drives, 20 yards, 20, 35 yards for a field goal range. That's points for cool already. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Guys, those are my keys to victory. Those are my last keys to victory for this season, but maybe not, right? We just talked about it. Atlanta Falcons do have a chance. Anything happens in football any given Sunday. I hope the Panthers not thinking they got the win. Well, I hope they do. I hope they come in real confident and saying we got this. And I hope the Panthers play spoiler to those guys, right? But none of that matters. The Atlanta Falcons need to go out and do their jobs, and that's the main key for this week. Billy Mills said we got to go to New Orleans. Yes, that game is in New Orleans. We're playing in the Superdome this week. Oh, yeah, it's a perfect opportunity for us. I really want to see us run the game versus Philly D-line, Bijan versus Jalen. I imagine storyline for Arthur Smith. Yeah, that would, man, could you imagine? And could you imagine? And I'm going to go ahead and get into the topic because I like where Millie Mills going here with this. So, guys, like I said, to start the show, a couple reports have came out, and it's mixed. It's a mix about the future of Arthur Smith. It's some reports saying that it seemed like he's going to be saved, right? It seemed like he's going to be saved. It's sort of like something I was saying on Monday, where he's going to get saved because the quarterback play has been so bad, right? That's just the way I'm looking at it. Even though himself, Terry Fontenot, and Arthur Blank all, co-signed that Desmond Ridder was the guy. Yes, Desmond Ridder is young, but some of the mistakes he made, just to me, I don't think he has the pedigree to be our franchise guy. And that's going to factor into the decision for Arthur Blank. Some people saying if Arthur Smith was to get a quarterback, what could he do with that? maybe he might get the opportunity. So that's some of the reports. However, it is also a report out there saying that Arthur Smith is done, right? They look at the fact that something that I've been saying all season long is you drafted guys 3 back-to-back seasons, in the top 10, and your offense is so anemic, right? It's just, it is what it is, right? That's a fact. So you can't overlook it. He's the head coach. He's the offensive play caller. So he is the center of all of it, right? I have talked about the quarterback play, and I agree. That the quarterback has not been where it needed to be, right? But at the end, Arthur Smith is the center of it all, right? Like I said, he's the head coach. He's the offensive play caller. He comes up with the game plan. And for some reason, this offense has not clicked all season long. It just has not clicked, right? And it has to be something said about that. And the question is, when you put it all together and you think about it in your mind, what make you think it's going to get better? What can Arthur Smith do to make the owner feel, and even us as fans feel that, if he doesn't change, if he's still here, what's going to make this offense look any different next year? What's the fix for it, right? I have came out and said that Arthur Blank should put stipulations on it. He should make sure that he has to get an offensive coordinator. He needs to go get a new offensive coordinator. I'm sorry, Dave Ragone, but I don't know what you do. I don't know how much influence you have on his offense, if any. We need to get a quarterback coach. For whatever quarterback that we bring in, that's going to be key, right? That's so. Maybe if he put stipulations, something like that, bringing in OC, bringing in the quarterback coach, maybe that's the way we can see where we feel like the owner feel like it's going to get better, because I just can't see running it back with the same, staff, the same play caller, the same coach, and thinking anything going to change. What could possibly change, right? Now, I have said, and I'm going to continue to say this, quarterback fixes a lot. A quarterback does fix a lot, right? That lies to when we talk about, what direction they're going to go in the quarterback. Do they move veteran route? Do they go rookie route? Can they make a trade for a quarterback? All this stuff is on the table because the Falcons do have draft capital to be able to do that thing. They're in a good position, with the cap. So they have all the means to go out and fix the quarterback position this off season. It's no excuse. Whoever the coach is, that's what they need to make sure to do. They go out and fix the quarterback. So, with those reports out there, and they're both on the other side. One saying that he's gone, one saying that he's probably safe. And but the question I have, and I know every fan have, Atlanta Falcon fan have, is if he's safe, what changes? You can't run it back. It's no way that Arthur Blank is looking at this offense this year and thinking, yeah, we're gonna keep the same staff, same play caller, and we're gonna just run it back. And then you get him a rookie quarterback. Like, it's no way that this could be fixed if you don't make changes, right? Somebody has to be the scapegoat for what happened this season. Somebody has to be the scapegoat what happened this season. And I'm here to tell you guys, right? It don't look good because Atlanta Falcons had one of the easiest schedules. Well, let's just say the NFC South, right? Because I don't want to just put it on the Atlanta Falcons. The whole division had one of the easiest schedule in NFL this year. They did. They had it. And look at the records. They had one of the easiest schedules in NFL, and we all sucked. There's no bottom line. The crazier part about it is, and the most disappointing part about it is, the Atlanta Falcons had the most talented roster in the division. You can see it on the field, guys. You can see the first game we went to Tampa. We won that game, right? We won the Tampa Bay game, but we had 3 turnovers in the red zone, and we still won because you can just see how talented this team is, right? On both sides of the ball. You can see the talent, right? It comes down to execution and coaching, right? And if you don't execute, what's called, right? Or you don't call the right thing for the guys to execute, this is what you get. This is what you get. Now, for the most part, the defense has played really well this season, right? But we can't completely let these guys off the hook, right? It was 3 times this season Atlanta Falcons scored, and all we had to do was get one stop, and we win the game. And we couldn't do that, right? So that goes back to some of the issues Atlanta Falcons had in the past, right? Got the ball, you score, and all you got to do is make one stop and you win the game. 3 different occasions we could not do that, right? 3 different occasions we could not do that. So you can't just completely, let the defense off the hook because it's a team sport. Your offense gets you the lead with a minute left in the game. You're hoping that your defense can stand up one stop. And guess what? Numerous of times this season that didn't happen, right? So you can't just look at the the defense like they're had no issues, but in reality, the biggest issue this season was the offense side of the ball. And like I said, it goes directly back to our head coach, Arthur Smith, right? Directly back to him. He's the coach. He's the offensive play caller. He come up with a game plan. He's responsible for the execution of the plays, right? Now, I'm a firm believer about play calling. Is that you practice the plays and the plays you call in games. It's should be understood that all these plays that you called in the game is something that you practice, during the week, get ready for the game, right? So all those trick plays that Arthur Smith ran, right? When I guarantee when they they did it in practice, it probably worked, right? Right. But for some reason, it doesn't translate to the football field on game day. And that's what happens because the execution does not look good. I can't imagine them calling the play in practice and it didn't work, but then you go out and call it in the game. If that's happened, that's just malpractice all the way around. So imagine, I'm just imagining that your plays they call, they practice them during the week, they worked, and then they went out and tried to run it, and the execution always bad. You either had a fumble, wrong blocking assignment, errant throw, something always happened, right? And that's coaching as well, right? Because you got to. It always says what you do in practice, what you should do in the game. And if you go out and you execute in practice, you should expect the same, thing in the game. And it's not translating. So that's lost somewhere between what's going on with this offense. And like I said, honestly, from what we've seen this season, right? Besides for getting another quarterback, because I think that'll help out a lot. I really do. I really believe we get a quarterback that's going to help, but it's not going to fix everything. So, what makes us think it's going to change if we just run it back with this offensive staff? Right now, I mentioned getting a new head coach. It comes with a lot. It comes with a lot, right? Most head coaches bring their own staff in, right? And I like our defensive staff. I really do. I really like our defensive staff. But so if we get a new head coach, what does that mean about our defensive staff? Are they gone? Head coaches want to bring in their own guys. It's a mafia, man. That's what they do. They bring in their own guys. That's how it is in the league, right? They bring in their buddy because I got you. When I get a head coaching job, I'm gonna bring you along with me, right? That's what I'm gonna do, and that's how these things work. So, Atlanta Falcons to go out and they bring in a new head coach, right? He probably gonna bring his own staff in, which means we kind of lose all that momentum that we just created on the defensive side of the ball. And for me, that's really the only reason why I'm like hesitant by moving on from Arthur Smith. I want to make so many changes, but I don't want to lose some of the chemistry that we created from the defense side of the ball. Because believe it or not, that was the most thing I was excited about this season. Where's our defense? And they didn't let us down, man. Atlanta Falcons defense been a top 10 defense all year long, right? And and who would have thought it was going to be the offense that let us down? Who would have thought? Billy Mills says, I know where Greenbaum need to go. Our new OC quarterback coach and bring in our damn quarterback. It's simple. See, that's my thinking. And Millie, that's exactly my thinking. 100%. That's the way I feel about it, right? Somebody got to be gone. I don't know what they were going to do anyway. Get him out of here. Get a quarterback coach. Bring in a quarterback, right? Now the question is, what quarterback? What quarterback to bring in, right? I came in here Monday. I talked about the three quarterbacks, the veteran quarterbacks that we definitely could get in. Two of them potentially free agents, right? That's Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins. Both of them 35-year-olds. Do you want to go down that route? I'm not 100% sure about that, right? You can get Justin Fields. You trade for him. It's a word out right now. You can get Justin Fields for about a second, a third rounder, right? If that's the case, go ahead and pull the trigger on that 100%. Honestly, I don't think the Chicago Bears should trade Justin Fields, right? It's a gamble for them. He's been there 3 seasons. They have to decide to pick up his 4th-year option here. I think by May of this during the off season, right? I mean his 5th-year option during the off season. And then they have to talk about paying him money, right? And we know what the quarterback market is. Now, true enough, the Atlanta Falcons will have to do the same thing if they make this trade. They'll have to decide to pick up his 5th-year option, right? And then they got to decide to give him a salary. That's the same instance. For the Chicago Bears, though, has Justin Fields, missed his time? Is it he need to move to another scenery? They need to go in. Like now, the biggest decision the Chicago Bears gonna have to make is because they passed up on the quarterback last year, right? They're gonna pass up on the quarterback this year. And if Justin Fields is not the guy, remember, Ryan Poles did not draft Justin Fields. So he's not the guy he had. He inherited Justin Fields. So it's not his guy he drafted, right? You know how the GMs are. They want to say, if I'm gonna go down, I want to go down with the guy I picked. I don't want to go down with a guy somebody else picked. So that could be where it is. I know the players on the team want them to stay. They love the way they have been playing these last games. The fan base was chanting his name, on Sunday, because we know the Atlanta Falcons make everybody look good. So, but the question is, if we can get it for a second and third round, all I know is about Justin Fields. The things I saw him do on Sunday, it's not that many quarterbacks can do that. It's not that many quarterbacks in the league can do that, right? All other stuff, you probably got to work on, holding on to the ball, hesitant, turnovers, things like that. If you look at his record, it's not good at all. It's not something that, to fly home about, say, like, this is a guy we know is 100% lock and things like that. So I'm not saying that, but, the intangibles thing that he have from a football skill standpoint, you can't teach those things. And that's what he does have. All right. And then I'm going to be honest with you. Arthur Blank and the Atlanta Falcons need a money grab a little bit. They need to be able to put, seats. I mean, people in seats, right? So the storyline, Michael Vick 2.0 coming back home. Boy from Atlanta coming back home. It'll sell tickets, right? The intrigue will be there, right? The intrigue will be there. And if he can pan out to be something that we all hope he could be, that would be outstanding. So that's just my sell on Justin Fields, right? Honestly, if they do decide to not to move on Justin Fields and keep him there, the Atlanta Falcons need to give up draft capital to go up and get the quarterback at number one. That's my other choice, and I don't know who. I'm not going to sit here and say this guy. I haven't looked at them guys that close. I can honestly tell you that. I have seen them play in college, and they have been impressive at different parts of the season, right? We know Caleb Williams won Heisman last year. Some of the things I've seen him do this season is you can't teach that. This God-gifted talent, right? Jalen Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner this year. Some of the things he do, records probably will never be broken in a long time in college. The things he do, and then Drake May, just the prototypical quarterback. Has a strong arm, can make all the throws. Those my three guys. I would go up. I don't know which one they would pick, but those are the decisions for the front office. But if they can't get a guy like Justin Fields, in my opinion, they should move up and go for it all. Billy Mills says, Ricondo, don't ask me that. I'm all in on Daniels or Penix, but my gut tells me Bo Nix. No, man, no. I tell you right now, do not ever say Bo Nix. Don't say Bo Nix. Bo Nix is Desmond Ridder. Like, Bo Nix was in the SEC for 3 seasons. We seen Bo Nix. He's not the guy. He's do not say Bo Nix. If I can tell you right now, if Arthur Smith stays and he draft Bo Nix, that probably be one of the worst picks that I have seen. One of the worst picks I've seen. Now Penix Jr., man, he was really impressive in that. He was really impressive in the Sugar Bowl, man. He was so impressive. I was jealous almost of his accuracy. Did you see his accuracy? Did you see Penix Jr. accuracy in the Sugar Bowl? It was so impressive, man. I mean, he dropping dimes way down the field. It was really impressive. It really was. And I'm concerned about his injury history. That's the only thing I got about Penix. I do like the fact he lefty, because lefties are kind of quirky and they kind of just make things happen, right? Look at guys like Steve Young, Michael Vick, Mark Brunell. Lefties I like lefties, so I kind of like that about Penix Jr. Just kind of don't like the injury history. But if he checks out at the combine, medical come all clear, yes. I seen some people mocking him to the second round. He's definitely not a second round quarterback. But Jalen Daniels, of course, he's just electric. You need to put some weight on, kind of small for me, but other than that, the kid is electric. One thing about all these quarterbacks coming out the draft, they're older, they're not as young. So that gives you a little maturity, what you're going to get from all these guys come in. But Bo Nix is a no for me. JJ McCarthy is a no for me as well. But Daniels, Penix, I should have threw Penix in there. May and Williams be for me. You said, I know, but Bo Nix just feel like Arthur Smith dude. Yeah, I guess, man. I guess. The kid got hurt. I don't get me wrong. I mean, he's athletic as hell, got hurt. But he didn't really impress me all that much. Especially, we seen him play at Auburn for 3 years before, he went over to Oregon, and he was able to actually play because he had a COVID year, right? So he actually was able to play about 5 years in college before he had to leave. So, imagine he's going to improve. Now he's a grown ass man playing against younger guys, right? You put that in perspective. Look at a guy like Desmond Ridder played all 4 seasons at Cincinnati, right? Then you get into the pros and the game is just too big for you. That's what you get. The game is just too big for you, and that's not what you want. Definitely not what you want. So, but guys, it's gonna be interesting. The coolest thing, what I like about the NFL is right after Sunday, that Monday is Black Monday. So all the coaches that get fired usually that day or right after the game, right? That's usually what happens. It's like no suspense at all. Owners don't hesitate. It's going to be a big, huge thing. Because if they do end up firing Arthur Smith, the coaching search is going to have to start right away, because you're going right into the offseason. You talking about the decisions. It's not like the Atlanta Falcons already have a quarterback, in place, right? They need to figure that out. They need to figure that out right away, what they're going to do at the quarterback position. They got positions in need as well on this team. It's not a finished product, right? We still got to get a pass rusher. We should be able to do that. You got a couple of guys that you got to pay, like AJ Terrell. He's due up for a contract. You got to make a decision on Kyle Pitts, where you're going to pick up his fifth-year option, which probably is no brainer. More than likely going to do that. We have only one receiver on the contract for next season, so a lot of decisions need to be made. So if Arthur Smith is out, they need to get really fast on that coaching search, because you need to get a new coach in to start help making some of these off-season decisions, right? Because new coach want their guys in. They want to be able to take a look at all the draft needs and things like that. This is not necessarily a rebuild, right? It's a team that has potential to really be good. If you look at the pieces we was able to assemble, right? They need to make a decision on some guys that we only had 1-year contracts on, guys like a Bud Dupree. I would love for a guy like Calais Campbell to come back for another season as well. So these are some of the things that we definitely got an opportunity to look at. Millie Mill says, what about the quarterback from FSU? Yeah, he all right, man. He all right. I'm just this is my thing, man. Atlanta Falcons need to go for a splash, right? The last time the Atlanta Falcons did a crazy splash was for Julio, right? And before that, it was Michael Vick. It's just, they need to go for it, man. They need to go for the gusto. Go out and make a play, and not just for the team's sake, but for your fan base sake. Because right now, man, if you go out to the timeline, and nobody's happy, right? And especially if you decide to bring Arthur Smith back, right? It's going to be pandemonium, right? You bring this guy back and then he don't make any changes. This is going to be just absolute craziness going on, right? So they have to make a decision, and usually I honestly believe that he already made a decision, despite what the reports say. The reports really don't know. Believe it or not, this game could have a lot to do with it. It is the Aints. It's all right. We go out and we play with passion and emotion, and putting it all out there. Even if we don't get in, we go out there and get that W. Yes, Atlanta Falcons will have another losing season. But guess what? It'll get us to 8 wins instead of 7-10, because another 7-10 season with the schedule we had, the roster we had this season, will be a failure. There's no other way around it. There's no other way around it. And yes, he has better records than guys that's out there now. You look at a guy like the guy in New York Jets. His Robert Saleh, his record is way worse than Arthur Smith's record, right? And guess what? Everybody gonna say, well, he didn't have his quarterback. He didn't have his quarterback. Their offense is worse than the Atlanta Falcons offense, right? And you gave him a pass because you don't have a quarterback. Well, I'm saying the Atlanta Falcons don't have a quarterback either. Right? So let's be honest. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their offense is not that good. It hasn't been good all season, right? It's other teams that suck, guys, right? I know we stay in our little tunnels and we look at the Atlanta Falcons, but it's other teams that worse than us. Look at the Panthers. Don't even have their pick this year, and they don't have no weapons for Bryce Young. They got to pay guys this offseason. Can they even improve the team? Right? I haven't looked at that Kelly situation, things like that, but it's teams worse off than the Falcons. Yes, we are disappointed. We should have been a whole lot better this year, but we are in better position than a lot of teams. I just say that. We just need to go out and make that splash, man. We need to go out and do the right thing this off season. That's what we need to do. And if we do that, if the Atlanta Falcons go out, go for it, right? You never know what's gonna happen. You go out and get a Caleb Williams, and he be a bust. Guess what? You tried it, right? You go out and get a Justin Fields, man. Bring him home. That you don't think that'll put butts in the seat? Think about it. That'll put butts in the seat. They need it. They need something. They need a spark, man. Right now, it seemed hopeless. And I can tell you this: I already looked at the opponents for next year. Get buckled up, guys. We play the NFC East and the AFC West. That's our schedule for next season. The NFC East and the AFC West. So we got the Chiefs, the Chargers with their new coach, right? Which got a pretty good squad. We got the Raiders. We got the Broncos, whoever their new quarterback going to be, right? Sean Payton all over again. We got to play him. Then we got to play the Cowboys, the Giants, Commanders again. We play the Commanders every year now. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And if Mahomes get Higgins, don't say that. Why we can't get Higgins, man? We need to, because we only have one receiver on the contract. So hopefully we get Higgins. Not don't say that, because that'll be devastating. But guess what? They need a receiver. And trust me, they're gonna go out and get one this year. They need one bad. But yeah, but the coolest thing about it, I think we played the Chiefs at home, play the Cowboys at home, and it's gonna be it's a tough road. So the cupcake schedule we had this year, you ain't getting that next year. So you already looking up. I'm telling you guys, we could see some dark days. So this is an important off season for the Atlanta Falcons. Coaching decision, quarterback decisions, filling in the holes that we got around the roster. Because we got the cap space, we can definitely do it. But it's gonna be a really interesting. I'm so excited about the off season. Kind of more excited about the off season because the regular season was such a disappointment. I'm just ready to get to it and start to talk about it and look for better things, ahead. Right. So that's what I can't wait. So guys, thank you guys coming in. Let me know what you think about my keys. The Falcons haven't lived up to the keys all year, guys. They haven't lived up to the keys all year long. But if any time you want to come out and play, it's against the Aints. I expect the Atlanta Falcons to play hard on Sunday, win, lose, or draw. I expect them to play hard, and I expect them to go out like dogs, man. If you do anything, go out like dogs. That's what I'm saying. Arthur Smith, if this your last game, coach your ass off, bro. Get this win against the Aints. But I think we can get Philly for sure. Yeah. Yeah, we get in the playoffs, man. I'm really interested. I'm really interested in that game. The crazy part about it is Philly's weakness is their secondary. We can't pass the ball really, though. See what I'm saying? We can't pass the ball really. So, like that's where they're weak at. Their secondary is trash. But our quarterback play, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be really interesting to see how we kind of, and I'm getting ahead of myself, of course, because we need a lot of shit to happen. We need the Aints to go down against us, and we need the Carolina Panthers to play inspired football to try to ruin Tampa Bay party, right? Right. I hope they have a lot of hate and discontent with each other, and the Carolina Panthers going to take it out on them. Let's just see what happens. So, guys, that's all I have. Thank you guys for coming in, tuning in for me. Give me your thoughts and your opinions on everything I talked about. The two sides of the spectrum. Archie Smith going to stay. Where you think we should go at quarterback, and most importantly, us getting this win against the New Orleans Saints this season. Season finale. Let's get it done. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.